Good morning, Acadiana, and welcome to another edition of Morning Coffee with Big Al.
And specialty.
We're happy to be coming to you from Cypress Street Radio, AOC Community Media's streaming broadcast.
Look for us every day of the week. Our 8 a.m. show will start your morning off right. That's right in a good way.
Not right as in radical right. We bring you good ideas, good pastimes, and who knows what else.
With
A progressive
flair.
flair.
Oh, come on. Our 7 p.m. stream is a great backdrop for some decaf and peace of mind. So either way, get your beverage of choice. It might be coffee, it might be tea, it might be something weaker or stronger. Sit back and enjoy the show.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Hey, Al, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good, specialty. And you?
I'm doing pretty good. I have been still sort of paying attention to COVID things,
Yeah.
We got, I think in the South, there's a lot of people who are afraid to take the vaccination, and I don't think they realize that not only affects them but everybody else. And
Yes.
and the Department of Health of Louisiana is doing really good things to try and make it as simple as possible, but we're still running into folks who are pushing back against it. I have a dear friend who came down with COVID and survived it. And then I have this other person who is involved with youth a lot, who got COVID and survived it. And both are of the opinion, well, they survived it and it's probably safer to depend on the virus than it is to depend on the medicine, the vaccinations that are available. And I think I may have mentioned this in a former episode of our Morning Coffee, but the Surgeon General of our nation addressed this specifically because he did a Q&A live on radio, and he was asked point blank about the immunities that we are able to get from the COVID virus when we get it being enough. And he said that your ability to survive the COVID vaccine and the immunities that you get are no better than what the specific virus infection that you got. So
Right.
if you survived a lesser hit, a mild version of the virus, you are only protected for sure against a mild version of the virus. If you come down with something that's stronger, you can die. And that happened to another friend of mine's brother-in-law who got the virus and figured he was safe because he had the virus. He got it a second time over the Christmas holiday, infected 2 elderly aunts, and died himself.
Yeah, there's definitely a lack of understanding, a lack of trust. I mean, there's been a lot of things that have come together since the first of last year.
Right. And some of that lack of trust is so understandable. It's really unfortunate that as a society, we have had people and leaders and experts who have, because of their ill-advised, misguided thoughts about humanity, have done some horrible things.
Yeah, a lot of it politically motivated. Matter of fact,
Well, some of it is medically and scientifically motivated, at the time, but it's just pure misguided ideas about about the equality and the makeup of our gene pool to assume that, it's like this white supremacist thing, you know? And I hate it. I mean, I think it's definitely, it has been brought out from underneath any rock of protection we had. And now, since they've seen the sunshine, they are thinking that it's time for them to, I guess, have their voices heard because they've got
Well,
somebody who believes in them. I don't know.
well,
I don't know.
it's become, I guess there's been kind of a veil taken off of some of the people's thoughts, and which is, I don't know if it's fortunate or unfortunate. I mean, it's something I guess a lot of people have suspected for quite some time, but when you hear people, some of the thoughts people come up with, it's kind of gives you an indication where their mind's at and where their heart's at. But the thing is, and this is a very recent statistic, 99% of the people that are contracting COVID, and I think 99% of the deaths too are the people that didn't get vaccinated. So,
Sort of,
it's
sort of stands to reason.
well, it's kind of regardless of what some people may think about the safety or the efficacy. I mean, it's kind of, those are not good odds. If there's a
No.
99% chance I'm going to have something happen to me, if I do something or don't do something or something like that, that's not, I don't look at that as being very good odds.
Right.
But might be better. I did put my name on the, you can have a chance to win $1 million.
Oh, I need to do that too.
Yeah,
I have a picture of that, and I need
yeah,
to do
I
it
did that.
before the 4th of July. Right?
Yeah, I think that's right. But
That's the deadline, folks. If you want to be in the thing, but they're going to check and make sure you got your vaccination before you get that money.
Yeah. I think I sent pictures of the front and the back of my vaccination card. I mean, it's like, how many vaccinations have I had in this lifetime? And
and most people have had vaccinations, and they're still here.
right. It's, I don't know. Well, the whole COVID thing was totally mishandled, and
From the
I mean,
start, because
right,
of the idea that we were immune. I guess, I don't know, or the one at the top thought he was immune, and he went ahead and got a vaccination and didn't tell anybody.
well, that I haven't heard all that, but I would not be surprised, and the there were, well, it was, I think it was mainly the motivation was getting reelected thing. But
Really?
well, that's what I think. I mean, he
Superhuman.
liked in huh?
Superhuman runs for office. Oh boy.
Well, when you have people staying on boats, and supposedly, I mean, and I remember the quote pretty closely because I like the numbers right now. And so if they stay on the boat, they're not actually on American soil, so it doesn't add to the number of cases. If you recall, this was back in, I don't know, I guess January, February, March of last year or something. I don't remember the exact date, but it's like, and our whole system is not set up to handle something like this, even though we did have a specific department I guess in the oh, I'm not sure which department it would have been in, but to handle pandemics, do whatever needed to be done to mobilize people and get uh, supplies and whatever was needed to deal with the sort of thing that happened, which of course was in the process of being dismantled at the time. And it's um, a lot of things that were not done well.
Yeah. Well, I have a PSA announcement.
Okay.
It's the phone number to call of the Louisiana Health Department to find out where you can still go if you don't have a vaccine or if you got part of it and you never completed the process, and to also at the same time set up an appointment. And we can put this on our Facebook too. And that
Okay.
number, it's a local number, so it's like it will be for, I know that you can hear us all over the world, but for those people who are in Lafayette, the number is 262-5616. That's
That would be, yeah.
262-5156. Okay. Hello. 262-5616. So it's 5616.
I bet there's an area code on that too.
337. Of
Yeah.
course. I think I did that the first time. Maybe not. Anyway.
But
So,
if people want to call from all around the world, I guess they can put in the United States country code and the area code. And
yes, that's
I don't know
true.
why they call. I don't know why they come over here to get a vaccine, but who knows,
It's a lot of people who don't know how to do that. I mean, for me, it's a bit of a challenge, to call country to country. I mean, I've done it to like Mexico, and
Yeah.
I really never jumped out and called country to country to Asia, even though I have the motivation to do that.
Yeah.
But they have such a great platform for free calls that I just use that.
Yeah. That's I like the free
They got
calls
they
myself.
got the WhatsApp here, but they got something called Calcal Talk. It's KAKO Calcal Talk. And it's, once you get it loaded, it's really simple, and you can go back and forth between video calls and just audio. You can send pictures. I don't know. You can do all sorts of things. There are certain things you can't do at the same time, but most things you can.
I heard rubbing your stomach and patting your head was kind of difficult to do at the same time, but I've
For
mastered
me, or you?
it. For some people, I wouldn't go into any specifics, but
Walking and chewing gum, I think they say
yeah,
one
I
of
could
those things too.
but I mean, there's so many ways to. I mean, I don't know if you could do it with that number. You'd have to have somebody that had a computer and was ready to do a Zoom call or a Skype call or a Google meeting call, like what we're doing. I mean, there's
Conference
just all
call.
kinds of ways to communicate with somebody basically just about any place on the planet.
Right. We are going to share with our audience, our listening audience, that you can only listen to this show. We're not going to have a video of our show like we have most of our others where we made it into a podcast, but maybe next time. I don't know
Who
how
knows?
many,
Maybe miracles will happen and we'll have a video. Who knows?
maybe. Oh, I don't know. But anyway, that last show was quite a sound experience.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, oh my gosh, when it was happening. But then to hear it on recording and be able to relive that.
Yeah.
So if any of y'all want to listen to a wild show, just listen to our June 10th, not Juneteenth, June 10th
Yeah.
show. And
Yeah.
speaking of Juneteenth, was pretty cool. They had a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah. That's well, it's a holiday now too.
It's a national holiday. And one thing that I promise you, a lot of people didn't even think, even those most affected, did not think of the fact that the national holiday kicked in with like an hour's, maybe 4 hours notice or whatever. You know, it was the same day that time at noon became a holiday or whatever. That it affected banking.
Oh, really?
So if you were in the midst of closing on a house or some big contract, it had some real interesting effects on the bank who was trying to make sure all this stuff went through smoothly. And probably real estate agents and, different folks that are in the midst of living life as usual, It's hello, this is a holiday and we need to be celebrating, not doing business.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving. Were you there for the protest in front of Walmart on Thanksgiving?
No, I wasn't.
Long ago. I mean, they made people come into work on Thanksgiving Day, elderly people and stuff, and there was a local protest saying that grandma and grandpa need to be at home eating turkey, not wandering around the silent floors of Walmart on Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah, they had a protest. It wasn't Walmart, I don't think. I'm trying to think of what the protest was recently. I mean, there's
Amazon.
well, I mean, was this in the past few days?
Well, I know
Past
they
couple of
had
days?
stuff for Amazon. I don't know. I don't keep up as closely with the news as I should.
Yeah.
I know that they've had some real eye-opening revelations about the folks who were in the condominium, not the ones who were not targeting the people who were like in the condominium, but those people who were spokespeople for the condominium board, the civic association for a neighborhood or subdivision or something like that. These were the people who were the ones who made decisions for the building. You heard
Yeah.
of that, where they were approached about the problems and how expensive it was. Well, they thought it was expensive, how much it would cost to repair and improve things.
Right.
And they were very resistant for years.
Yeah, at least 3 years, I heard.
Yeah, didn't just happen yesterday, where they were trying to, establish a contract to go ahead and get the repairs done, and the feet dragging and resistance and the barriers that like they said, they didn't believe the engineers. They figured they were trying to recharge them too much. That anyway, it's unfortunate, but they had it within their control to do something different, and it's sad that happened. Then there's this other thing, just completely on the other side, that has opened a can of worms, is the New York. Do you hear about that? The voting and it's just a mistake. They didn't clear the ballots for the mayoral vote.
Oh, yeah, I remember. Yeah, they had some test votes in there or something like that.
Yes. And that under normal circumstances, but probably the pressure of all this stuff that nobody would have ever dreamed of happening. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on in New York.
Yeah. There is a lot of stuff going on in New York. I like New York, personally.
I drove through there one time.
I've driven through it, and I've visited it, and I didn't visit. My most recent visit did not include New York, New York. I have been to New York twice in my lifetime.
Yeah.
The first time was in the probably like 1990, and I just went to enjoy the Macy's Day Parade because it was a sad time for me, and it was decided that the distraction would be to go to New York and watch the Macy's Day Parade and go to a few shows.
Probably a good distraction.
It was a good distraction until I had a German cockroach in my salad for Thanksgiving Day.
Hmm.
I had never experienced having that thing where you just can't eat. You
Yeah.
just cannot. You just can't eat. And it was Thanksgiving Day, and I mean, it was just like completely lost my appetite. And I was
Yeah.
scheduled for a really nice dinner, you know. Mm-mm. It didn't
Hmm.
happen. And everybody was so apologetic, you know. It was like, I mean, you can imagine the maitre d'. This is a really nice place, and
Yeah.
and oh man, it was at the hotel where I was staying. So, but they did everything they could to make amends.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, and I won't share the name out of courtesy because it's still a really good hotel, and you know, wouldn't want that to cast a shadow on their efforts. But it was just something, you know. I mean, nobody did it on purpose, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Bugs will be bugs.
Yeah. Yeah. They made some movies about that.
Yeah,
The
I'm.
the Starship Troopers.
Oh Lord. Uh, did you see Ants? That it's like a Pixar movie, kinda.
I saw Ant-Man.
You need to see Ants. It's A
Uh,
N T Z.
the
It's a yeah Z. It's a cute little show. It's about like okay, the ants are the characters, and they've got this. I don't know what that was. They've got um this kind of dorky. I don't know. He's like I, what do you call the people that are really computer a geek,
nerd, a
a
geek.
computer
Okay.
nerd. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
little
Nerd or geek, I guess they're.
wiry, you know, smart, and anyway, so he's like the star of the show, and it's really cute. I mean, they've got the big blustering um, head of the military police or whatever who really didn't like that guy, and then there's this beautiful like princess girl. So you know, it's got all the romance and action you can want, and the good guys win. So I just like it.
Well, it's always nice when the good guys win. Unless you're a bad guy and you like to root for the bad guys, but I
Yeah,
guess that's
yeah. Like
so. Go ahead.
I didn't have anything to say. So tell me
Uh,
more.
no, it's just thinking about our national border,
Mm.
and let's see, Greg, remember Jade Helm Abbott in Texas and his border stuff and trying to build another 5 miles of wall, and I think it's South Dakota is sending 50 National Guardsmen down there at the.
Really?
Oh, you hadn't heard about this, and this is financed by money from a billionaire from Florida, if I
Dark
recall.
money.
Well, it's kind of another. I mean, the guy's name is out there, but it's kind of um, I don't know. It's just another political stunt that. I mean, there's been a lot of that going on here lately. Obviously, as some people, if you're paying the least little bit of attention, you probably, people probably realize that. But I thought this was a little bit over the top myself. Um, Definitely not something I've ever heard of happening before.
Yeah, I've been to the wall, or whatever. Not the bodacious wall. But there is a border boundary that actually was put up and upgraded when President Obama was president. And I know um, a friend of mine and I drove along the road that went along the border, and on the way we found like a posse of border patrol guys, and they had two really, normal looking, hungry looking young men, and sitting and sitting in with their hands handcuffed behind their backs. And the border patrols were men and women. And boy, they gave us a look when we went by looking at them. I mean,
Oh, really?
oh, yeah, they didn't want anybody looking or seeing what was. I mean, they just, I don't know. I think there's a certain bit of paranoia that goes with being an officer in the United States.
Well,
Sometimes.
probably with good reason.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well, okay.
just makes you want to take a break sometime.
Yeah, let's take a break on that.
Okay, we will.
Take my shirt off because I couldn't get on my hair.
Well, we've seen that many times. And when it was cold, it was worse.
Yeah.
The little old people would come in, man, they were totally to the neck dressed.
Did you find your Lions Club picture that I gave you?
I did.
Yeah, y'all, I'm smiling, but you can't see.
No, smile with your eyes, right?
I am. Here, look, take my glasses off because I always like to look good for pictures.
There he goes.
See, I did it.
You did it.
And you can do it too.
That's right. That's right. Come on, young people. Get
Come
out
on
here
in
and get
here.
vaccinated.
Get them from Larry. He and all his people give really easy shots. And I smiled through the whole thing.
You did.
Go.
You get a sucker.
Go away.
Vaccine.
Go.
Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that message. We're trying, the problem is that if we have too many people who are not vaccinated, then when a variant comes, they're going to be so susceptible that, and as they allow time for this thing to mutate, I mean, if it wasn't given time, if we could get enough vaccines so that it just died on the vine, we wouldn't have this problem. But we've got this problem now. It happened in India because there were so many people who had it, and now the Delta virus has gone mad. And we think that we're immune to the Delta virus to some extent. But if it keeps going around, folks, it's going to happen again. I mean, it can get to where it's out of control, where what we've developed so far is not going to work. It's going to be like the thing with antibiotics, getting in your food. It's just not going to work. That's my message.
Well, I've heard something to the effect that let's see, what is it? What are the two-dose vaccines?
Moderna and Pfizer.
Yeah, those two are supposed to confer a pretty good immunity to the D the Delta variant. I
Mhm.
haven't heard anything on the Johnson and Johnson, but
You may have to get
yeah,
another shot, Al.
could be, could be. I
Um,
mean, yeah,
I mean,
but
one
that,
and done may be like one and cooked.
yeah, well, um, but that is a good point you make. It's the longer it gets into people that not vaccinated, basically,
Yeah,
the more likely it is to mutate and come up with uh,
something stronger.
right, exactly.
And so the fault lies with those who think that they are invincible.
I think they said it. I think Pogo said it one time a long time ago. We've found the enemy, and it is us.
Hmm. Oh, yeah. It's really, really, really sad. You know that the the early primitive tribal folks had their skirmishes and all, but then there were some that were just very peaceful, who should have been allowed to just remain very peaceful. You know, that they were living in um, harmony with the environment around them, not throwing all sorts of curveballs into the life on our planet. And yeah, maybe there's a, a, a finite lifetime for everything, you know. But frankly, I don't want to be on the end. You know, and 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 if I gotta go, I'd rather go peacefully and not in suffering heat and where you can't hardly breathe or you're drowning or something like that. Just really don't want that.
Yeah, the oh, it's an interesting concept, I suppose, but I guess we should be doing things that are in everybody's benefit.
Right.
As
And
far as
you remember when China put the restrictions on births? They,
birth, yeah,
people could only have, like, I don't know if it was one or two
that
children,
was
but that was
one child, I believe.
one child, so they could bring down the population. Used to be everybody was, I mean, not everybody, but there was a big communication um, uh, propaganda, not propaganda. It was a program. It was a movement to try and stop the the population from growing so quickly.
Yeah.
And China did that. They decided that wasn't a good idea, so they stopped. Or maybe they made enough progress on it to decide that they could use a few more people. I don't know.
Well, I haven't looked into that in quite some time, but it's um, there's a lot of things that need to be done on a global scale, and there's a lot of oh things that need to be um, things people need to quit doing. They like there's a term that I think I just heard come up recently called ecocide, and yeah, that's people that are doing things to damage the planet, or it's the act of doing things that damage the planet, like somebody in, like, this happens in South America where they bulldoze the rainforest where they can grow cattle for 5 years or something like that. I mean, it's people, we need to start thinking, or need to start realizing that there is no planet B, and we need to take care of the planet we have and improve it, make it or causing it to deteriorate, I guess, quit causing the conditions to change to be less favorable for human life if we're going to, continue to have human life.
Yeah. Well, I've heard that the cockroaches will survive.
Yeah, that's I've heard that too. But the I guess oh, sometimes people get this idea that we're here to, what is it, subdue the planet or the whatever the trying to think of how they put that, but it's subjugate maybe. I don't know. It's like, really, when you get right down to it, we need to be doing stuff to keep the planet healthy. So if the planet stays healthy, then we're all likely to stay more healthy. And
the interesting thing is that there's those who have a lot, who give a lot, and then there's those who have a lot who only take,
yeah,
and there's I get the impression there's thoughts by some that they can discard this planet and go on into space and find a new planet.
yeah, we are with all our starships with warp drive. That ought to be easy enough, huh?
I mean, there are all these science fiction shows that present this, the Galactica, essentially, where.
Yeah, well, we can fly helicopters on Mars, which is, I guess that's kind of a technological marvel, but you'd think if we could do that, we could be doing a lot more things here that would be good things to do.
Right. I mean, if there's like wise, sage intelligence somewhere else, do you think they would really want us?
Well, it's like you probably. Well, no, there's been some recently, over the past month or two, there's been a little more interest in UFOs and some disclosures and things like that. I really haven't paid that much attention to it, but it's like I think it would be kind of arrogant to think that we were the only, intelligent life in the universe. When you look at the numbers, but I don't know. We're kind of in a transition time right now. I think could be good, could be bad. It depends on.
And there's always this push to survive, and even viruses do that. So
Yeah.
The basic life forms. So. I don't know. So, do we know of anything cool that's going on locally?
No, probably not cool. It's been pretty warm around here lately. It's been pretty
There's been
warm and rainy.
Been a lot of flooding. I was actually visiting with someone the other day who lives on the outskirts of the parish, where the street that they live on is divided down the middle, and one half of it is owned by Lafayette Parish, and the other half of it is owned by Acadia Parish. And so neither one of them is taking on any type of responsibility to try and make that pathway, that particular road that's split down the middle, be high enough that it doesn't flood or paved even. they split it down the middle. And it seems like there ought to be some sort of agreement where one parish or the other decides that they'll give up or want to take that road so that they can do what needs to be done, or cooperate and split the cost of fixing it so that those people who need that, who might need it for, and will have to be serviced if they call for ambulance or help, or if that ends up being, a shortcut to get to a fire.
Well, I mean, it's the same. I mean, it's to me kind of the same difficulty or issue that they had with the condo or townhomes or whatever they were in Florida. You
Oh,
have people that are in a position to take responsibility and do stuff, and they don't do it.
I don't know, maybe we could start a letter writing campaign to Lafayette and Acadia Parish to look at the places that are like that and decide on some sort of a system to resolve issues that are outstanding.
Yeah, with all the money they're saving from defunding libraries and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, and shutting
I'm
down
a,
parks and rec and
yeah,
but
yeah,
the arts, they could do something and fix the
yeah,
roads for the ambulances and fire trucks.
yeah. Not a
Oh
not
man,
a good spin on things.
no. Ah, I've heard some other really interesting things about. They're they're probably going to come to a head before too very long. I don't know when it's
Oh,
going to
really?
be news. Yeah, but I'm not going to. But just things that have happened wrong to individuals because of somebody's fear, or um, where the responding pushback was like way overdone, way
Uh,
way beyond what it should have been.
Not a well measured response.
No, not a well measured response at all. And then we've got these. We do have watchdogs, that try to help the little people, and sometimes they see this and they step in to help,
Hmm.
and so that may be something happening to the chagrin of those people who responded with knee-jerk reactions instead of using their head.
Well, I'm um, not exactly sure what you're referring to, but I have no doubt that there's a lot of that going on because I see. I mean, oh, I think we could be doing better in a lot of areas.
Yeah, we've got some pretty interesting and encouraging bills that have been passed, of late, as far as they're kind of minor things that seem like pretty much no brainer in some respects, as far as what's taxed and what's not, and uh, who and what ends up being at the crosshairs for punishment. And I know that there's been some serious reform as far as incarceration and who gets put in jail. I think that there's been a change in enforcement with regard to marijuana for sure.
Oh, really?
That's what I understand. A lot of
I
states are giving fines, but not uh, jail time.
I heard some, but I had heard something about that in Texas, but not in Louisiana.
Okay.
But I hadn't kept up with it really too
But
much.
I thought that Louisiana was among those that were adjusting those rules too.
Well, it could very well be. I'm just not. It's not something that has come across my radar really.
Well, have you seen any of the signs that have the big Mary Jane leaf print that says uh, this is this sign means not to drive while you're high.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that.
Oh, okay. So that was kind of, I mean, it's big and bold. And
Yeah.
I'm thinking, well, does that mean that you can walk while you're high, but not drive while you're high? I don't know. I have no,
Yeah.
I have no idea. I'm really not a druggy person, but I really see where the injustice has been kind of proliferated with regard to that, because it was fairly inexpensive, I think, for folks. But and I don't know. I just don't know. I know that there's supposed to be some sort of a medical um, latitudes that have been extended for people who fall in some sort of categories, but I don't even know what those are either.
No, there are some medical benefits from what I mean, I have read things to that effect, but it's basically, it was something, it really spooled up toward the, I don't know, I guess the last 5 or 10 years of the Vietnam War for the purpose of discrediting various groups, because a lot of the kids in the day didn't like the war, didn't like the idea of being drafted, and so they kind of doubled down. The war on drugs. I
Mm,
mean, can't have a war in Vietnam. Well, at least we can have a war on drugs.
yeah.
But the um,
They've had some reports of late. I mean, even on the radio about that being um, pretty much misguided and seen as an ineffective way to approach that. It was considered a problem.
yeah,
Now it's becoming considered a recreation by some.
oh
Or
yeah,
it always was. It
yeah.
never changed. So no, I don't know. Uh, but it's interesting to see how things change over time.
Well, the it's kind of once again not a well measured response to something, and an inappropriate, um, just causing more problems. You might solve one little problem, but you create three more problems. So it's not a good investment.
Well, the communications in relation to all of it were so they were scary. I mean, they really exaggerated, I guess, what the impact was. There's people who do things that are against the law, and no matter what, that they maybe have mental illness or whatever. But that the the lesser distractions as far as marijuana and stuff like that got blown, I think, out of proportion.
Yeah, reefer madness comes to mind.
Yeah, something like that.
I'll be right back.
Oh, you're gonna let me control the show?
Yes, I'll let you. I'll let you run solo for just a few moments here, but
Okay.
I'll be right back.
That means I can possibly get away with stuff that I wouldn't be able to while Al's here being the watchdog.
Oh no, you're under the ever mindful eye of your director.
Oh Lord.
What did I miss something before?
And Teresa said she could get away with something, and I said, oh no, she's under the mindful eye of her director.
Oh, well, I got that shut down really in a hurry.
Ought to try it out. You never know.
Yeah,
Your
yeah.
director may approve.
I've heard some pretty wild stuff on the nighttime shows on this channel, by the way.
Like what? You want to give a plug?
It could stand that way, couldn't it? Say the nighttime show is a little bit edgy, guys. I've heard it in person, and I just went, "Oh my goodness!"
What show was that?
Well,
Do
it
you,
had some like directors on there and some very, funny people who who sort of stretched the limits. I thought, but it was definitely entertaining.
are you talking about Mind on Media?
Maybe I didn't know what the name of it was. I sort of chimed in the middle and was like, "Oh, this is
Was it
this
like,
is interesting."
was it a Zoom call sort of thing? Or a
No,
Google
no, it
Meet?
wasn't a Zoom call. It was just radio. It
Oh,
was a
okay.
regular type radio show. I think in the evening, past
Oh, I bet, I know. I bet that's Tune In next week.
maybe.
Seems
Maybe.
right.
Yeah. I also enjoy uh, uh, Jake Jake and Paul on the wall,
Jacob and Paul off the wall, I think.
off the wall. Oh
I've,
well, I'm changing the names of everything.
I've seen a couple episodes.
Yeah, they're funny. My former radio partner and I were always threatening to go and do some gate crashing on that show. Yeah, we thought that if there was some way to get in on Sunday and just sort of hop on, hop on and hop off.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they would welcome you to their show.
Oh yeah, I think they sort of did, but we just never got our, the weekend's the weekend, and we just never got ourselves out there. And then COVID struck, and nobody went anywhere. So.
Wah, wah, wah. Well, Al better get back soon because this train is coming to the next stop.
He's there. He's there. He's just listening. He's just playing
I'm back.
low man on the, in what do you call it? Doing some spying.
Yeah. Had to handle.
Under camouflage.
Yeah.
So it sounds like our show is about to come to an end. I don't know, but
Yeah,
I
it kind of
enjoyed
sounds
talking.
that way.
I enjoyed talking to that mighty eye that was watching over me.
Yeah.
We have about a minute and a half left.
Big brother.
Wow. So anyway, I guess we can just invite people to come and visit us on our Facebook page because we got
Yes,
some
that would
stuff
be
on there.
Morning Coffee on Cypress Street Radio.
Yeah,
You can
they
see
had
us
a
on Facebook.
Creole. I think they had a big Creole day over at Vermilionville. They always have those kind of neat things going on, and I understand there's going to be having some sort of a festival for Festival Acadie coming up, and there's going to be the Latin Music Festival in October, and they're going to have the Boudin Festival in September. So it's all coming. It's coming up. I don't know what they're doing as far as fireworks. You know anything about fireworks? I mean, it is the 4th of July, right?
I don't think we have a real issue around here. Some of the drier places out west are saying, don't shoot fireworks, but
It's real wet here, but I've heard fireworks already. Some people thought they were gunfire, but I know they were fireworks.
okay.
And so anyway, better not to shoot them and be careless. And actually, it's probably better not to do it at all and go someplace that's organized by a fire department where, people quietly watch someone else take all the risk. But we can wish all of you a very happy 4th of July weekend. We know that we will this show through the 4th of July and probably on into July proper. There will be another COVID vaccine of the series. I think the last one, like if you got your first shot or if you're still interested in the Johnson one and done, you can call that number I gave, the 337-262-5616, I think was the number, I hope.
Sounds about right.
and we can put that on our Facebook. But that's
Mhm.
happening July the 14th, starting at 2 o'clock. But call that number and you can make an appointment and get it done.
And if you're catching the show before the 4th of July, right down the street from AOC's studios, you can go to Uncle Sam's Jam 2021 at Park International. That's July 4th from 5 to 9 p.m.
Oh, well, that's coming up soon. From 5
Yes.
to 9.
5 to 9.
4th of July. I like it.
Uncle
Happy
Sam's
4th.
Jam.
Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da. We can hear, they might have some music. It sounds like they will. They used to always do something with the orchestra.
We love the audience, but we have to say goodbye and thanks for listening.
Thank you so much, everybody.